Who are you kidding? You don't have the budget for an ad like this. Your small business can't afford something this premium. At least that's what I would have told you before AI. We're witnessing a creative revolution, and the power really is in your hands. All you need to know is which tools are best and how to use them. With that, you can put together an entire ad campaign for any business you can imagine. All of this without breaking the bank, but still having full creative control. I'm Jack. I've been a VFX artist in the advertising industry for over a decade now, and I've worked for many of the biggest brands on the planet. Today, I'll be combining my knowledge of the best AI tools with my background in advertising to teach you how to create dynamic ads for your business. All of this at a fraction of the cost when compared to traditional production methods. And I'll even throw in some tools that are completely free to use as well. Whether you're brand new to AI or a confident creator, I'm going to hand over all of my knowledge to put you in the driving seat. And of course, guys, if you do enjoy today's content, make sure to whack a like on there for me, consider subscribing, and of course, ring that bell notification icon. We've also just launched memberships on the channel, guys. There are 2 different tiers that you're able to pay for if you'd like to have another way to support me. You get access to all kinds of great perks, but probably the best, in my opinion, is to join my private Discord channel where we talk all things creative AI. Would love to see as many of you guys over there as possible, and without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So for starters, I needed to come up with an idea for a business that I'm going to market. Now, I'm originally from a very small town down in southern England. There's not a lot going on there at all, but one of my favorite things and something I really do miss is their local bakery. This bakery has been around forever now. It's a very small family-run independent bakery, and that was kind of my jumping off point. I didn't really want to base this whole video around some really extravagant or expensive idea like a multi-million-dollar tech startup company or something like that. Let's keep it relatable. So this bakery from my hometown, it sells all sorts of amazing things, but my favorite item on their shelves was their cheese straws. These amazing, delicious, cheesy puff pastries that were just, I couldn't get enough of them. When I think of comfort food, cheese straws from that specific bakery is the first thing that pops into my head. So I thought it'd be cool to take that concept and I would set up my own independent bakery that only sells cheese straws. And we're kind of going off the same business model as Supernova Burger. If you guys don't know, this is a viral burger joint which is in Soho. And they're very well known for just having a very small menu. Literally just like a few burgers, chips, a couple of milkshakes, that's it. But because their menu is so small, the quality of the items that you get are really high. And of course, when the customer goes there, they know exactly what they're gonna get. And it's that same business model that we're applying to our cheese straw bakery. This idea of simplicity in design and the menu resulting in a premium product. And of course, if it ended up going viral on social media, that's just a bonus, right? So with that, we started to piece together our brand. We know it's going to be a small hipster style bakery that sells premium cheese straws. It follows the same business model as Supernova. There's going to be 3 cheese straw types, a normal one, which is called the Purist, veggie, which is called the Veggie, and a meaty one called the Butcher. We're also going to serve 3 dips. So whenever you buy cheese straws, you're going to get a choice of 1 dip to go with them. You're going to have caramelized onion chutney, garlic and herb aioli, and spicy tomato relish. And of course, to keep those hipsters happy, we're going to have to sell some craft coffee, which is roasted in small batches as well. So you can see we've got a definite vibe going on here, right? We're thinking of our audience and we're seeing how our brand is going to factor into every kind of facet of the business. And one of the most important parts of coming up with a brand is the name. And I threw all sorts of ideas around, but eventually I landed on Puff. It's really simple. It feels kind of hipster with the full stop at the end. It's quite memorable. It's a little bit kind of strange, so it might stick in your mind. And of course, it's relevant to the product because you make these cheese straws using puff pastry. So the next step was to go ahead and design our logo. So for this, I just used Canva. You can see over here what I got up to. This is my general process I always use whenever I'm trying to come up with a brand. We'd already decided on the name, obviously, so I just typed out Puff lots of times and used up lots of different fonts that I liked. And essentially what we do is just slowly whittle them down by deleting the ones that we don't like as much. So the last two options were these two here. I really liked both of them. It was a hard decision, but I settled for this. I felt this was very clean and premium. And of course, we've gone for this very simple color palette of this pastel pink in the background and white, so the text is nice and legible. And you might be thinking, if it's cheese straws, why did you not go for yellow? I just felt it was a little bit obvious, and we're trying to do things to make our business stand out and maybe feel a little bit irregular. Anything that can make your brand feel a bit more memorable is worth doing in my book. And I don't know, I just liked these two colors together. It just feels right to me. Canva itself is a really great free resource. There are paid versions of it, but I just use it for free and I use it all of the time. It has got less tools than Photoshop. You can't really do advanced compositing to my knowledge. But when it comes to things like this, which is kind of simple graphic design, I think Canva really shines. You can see as well that I started to put together a whole load of references to kind of inspire me. It's like a shop exterior here. We also have the inside of a very rustic bakery. Star of the show, the cheese straw itself. I mean, there's loads of different ways to make these, lots of different flavors as we've touched on. And I just think it's really handy to get together lots of different images just to lead you down a certain path. So of course, things are really starting to come together now. We've got a very strong concept for our bakery. We've got the logo here as well with the color scheme. And now it's time to think about how we can use AI to really create a very premium feeling ad. So really here, we're talking about AI filmmaking. And as I always say, all of the best AI videos stem from a single starting frame. An AI image which does a really good job of capturing a certain character or style. These first steps that we're going to take are really, really important for laying the groundwork, the foundation of everything else that's going to branch off from them. So at this stage, we're starting to think of some key visuals for our brand. And these can be both used for print campaigns, so just normal images, as well as moving images which we can put together to form our advert, or commercial if you're American. We need to think about what shots we need to tell a story. Now, if you've got an existing business, you can again kind of skip this step and just go ahead and take your own photos really. If you've already got a shop and you've already got a product, you don't necessarily need to use AI at this point. Although you'll see that you can take those existing images and feed them into my process very shortly. So just because you've already got existing assets for your business doesn't mean that AI can't help you to use them in a variety of different ways. And you'll see that very shortly. So one of the first shots I knew that we needed was an exterior shot of the bakery itself. And I found this image here of Fortitude Bakehouse that I really liked and wanted to use as some inspiration. So I fed that into ChatGPT and I said, I want you to write me a MidJourney prompt to recreate this image. Remove the signage from the window and change the blue color to a soft pink. Also expand it a little to show more of the street it's on. Think a trendy area of London like Shoreditch. Keep the pink shop as the focal point and central in frame. And make sure my prompt finishes with photo real. Ultra detailed textures, cinematic composition, harsh shadows, analog photography. And I really love using an LLM like ChatGPT, Grok, or Gemini for this use case because I can struggle to describe even quite a basic image. But this for me is where a tool like ChatGPT really shines because it just instantly gives you this prompt. I think I went ahead and made just a couple of light tweaks to this, but of course we took it over to MidJourney, my personal favorite AI image generator. Now originally I did use the Fortitude Bakehouse, dropping that in as a style reference, but unfortunately it kind of screwed up my prompt and we lost the pink. In a way, this really does show you how great ChatGPT is at writing prompts because I did away with the style reference, just whacked the text prompt right into MidJourney and we got back some amazing results. All of these are great in different ways, to be honest with you. I really liked a lot of them. Did a really great job of creating these images for me, but I believe we ended up going with this one here. I kind of liked how it wasn't perfect. I think with AI images and videos, you want to try and find that human element or just like the imperfection in even like objects and settings, just to try and sell the realism that little bit more. And as we proceed up here, I knew as well a very key visual was going to be the product itself. So I ended up wanting to use MidJourney to create myself some cheese straws. Again, we're really laying into that pastel pink theme. Obviously, the shop itself is pastel pink. And then all of these shots of the product, I wanted them to be pastel pink as well. We're wrapping the cheese straws in this pastel pink paper. And you can see sometimes trial and error. You guys know what AI is like. We've got some sort of cheesy focaccia here, which does look delicious, but it's not a cheese straw. Quite a few of the generations I got back were just not right. A lot of them sort of look more like cheesy croissants, to be honest with you. However, this one here looked really, really great. So we went ahead and downloaded this. Love the way that MidJourney even made this woman's nails pink. Very consistent theme going on we got here. And one of the great things about AI is being able to put yourself into any scene you really can imagine. So of course I wanted to have a bit of fun and put me in this ad and also within the setting of the bakery. So I went ahead and made a few different variations of portraits. Again, obviously with me up against this pastel pink background. If you guys want to know how to recreate yourself accurately using tools like MidJourney or any AI image generator, really, you can go ahead and check out the video on the screen right now. There's a lot more detail there if you really want to dive into it, but it's really all to do with using your prompt and also making sure to upload a good high quality selfie and then putting that into the Omni reference section of MidJourney. And I set my Omni reference strength to about 125. One here of me eating the cheese straw. Not sure if that's going to make it in the final ad. We will see. Now, MidJourney is a paid tool, but personally, I think it is well worth it. You can do the cheapest plan, I think, for something like $10 a month, and the results you get from this thing are incredible in my book. But I'm always looking for ways to do things on a budget because I'm aware a lot of you guys might not have an awful lot of money to be thrown around, especially if you're trying to start up a business from the ground up. So really these starting images that we have technically paid for from MidJourney, we're going to kind of cut that off now and we're going to go down a free route. You take these and repurpose them. And of course, to do this, we're going to be using Nano Banana, which is an amazing AI image generator that's just been released by Google. So you can see here, I put in my image that we created with MidJourney of the exterior of my puff bakery. And I said to Nano Banana, show me the interior of this bakery, a wide angle view of a stylish bakery interior with a clean modern design, white tiled walls and wooden tables filled with fresh cheese straws. Vibrant potted plants and hanging plants bring life and greenery into the space, adding a touch of Shoreditch charm. A minimal pastel pink menu is displayed on the tiled wall above the counter, simple and elegant. Staff in pastel pink aprons work behind the counter, while customers move through the space, motion blurred and dynamic, adding energy without distracting from the design. The wide-angle perspective captures the openness and depth of the bakery, emphasizing its artistic, modern, and inviting atmosphere. And of course, I always put this bit on the end here about photoreal, ultra-detailed textures, cinematic composition, harsh shadows, analog photography. So this would have been an output from ChatGPT as well. You could just tell that this was written by an LLM, but I just went in and made a few tweaks as I always do. And I want you to just keep in mind, we have just thrown this image here at Nano Banana. And what we get back is this. It feels consistent and it feels realistic as well. I'm not actually sure if we ended up using this image, but it's a really great example of how you can use Nano Banana. And if we scroll down a little bit more, you can see that I said, show me a close-up of a well-manicured man's hand holding a plain pastel pink takeaway coffee cup that matches the aesthetic of the shop exterior. Make it feel stylish and premium. And what we get back is this. The soft focus background is literally our starting image. Like, how insane is that? Now, right here, I am using Nano Banana through LM Arena. If you want to access it in this way, you literally just type into Google lmarena.ai. And this is how I usually tend to use Nano Banana, just because you get your outputs without the little Gemini logo in the bottom right-hand corner, and it can be a little bit annoying to remove them. Of course, we don't want any watermarks on our images if we're then going to go on to animate them, right? But I do want to show you why you might want to use Nano Banana directly through Gemini as well. So here I am accessing Gemini for free through my web browser. And the great thing about using it this way, yes, you're going to get your watermark, but you can combine more than one image. So first I put in my logo, which we designed with Canva, and then I put in the image that we just generated with Nano Banana through LM Arena of the coffee cup. And we can say, put the logo that reads Puff on the coffee cup, and just look at the result that we get back. You'll notice, however, that it's given us back a 1:1 aspect ratio. And this is a question I get a lot in my comments. Why is Nano Banana giving me back square images? Essentially, the aspect ratio of the image you input into Nano Banana is what you're going to get back. But if you're using multiple images, the last image you input is what aspect ratio you're going to get back. So the order essentially that you upload your images matters. If you look at our logo, it's 1:1, right? But if you look at our shot of the coffee cup, it's 16:9. So we want to put in our logo first and then our 16:9 image. And because we're putting in the horizontal image last, that is what we're going to get back from Nano Banana. And you can see it does a really great job of comping on the shadows, the logo, everything just looks great. Before, you would have had to like go into Photoshop and mess around with blending modes and all of that stuff, do a little bit of masking to even bring the thumb back over the top, but don't worry about it. Nano Banana will sort all of that for you. You can see as well here that I put in a different shot of the interior, which I really liked, but I did kind of think, why would the cheese straws be on these tables? So once again, you can feed that into Nano Banana and say, make the tables clear, and put the cheese straws on the counter behind a pane of glass. And what we get back is this. We are really starting to construct our business from the ground up with AI. Insane. Another great example here, we're back on LM Arena. I tend to switch between the two ways to access Nano Banana, which I prefer. You can access it through all sorts of paid subscriptions as well. I think FreePick and Higgsfield, loads of different sites do it, but these ways you can access the tool for free. So I put in this image of our interior and I gave it the prompt, a bakery worker with his back to the camera, arranging shelves stacked full of freshly baked cheese straws, golden brown with crisp. The shelves are wooden and the walls are white tile. The worker is seen from behind, mid-action, reaching up to place a cheese straw on the shelf, wearing a casual pastel pink long-sleeved t-shirt. The scene is warm, artisanal and authentic, with a vibrant atmosphere that captures the charm of a busy urban bakery. Now, I didn't even clock this until now, but we asked for a man and what we got was a woman. However, this generation is so good. And again, we can take this over to Gemini, put our logo in first, our 1:1 image, then put in this shot of the woman arranging the shelves, and ask it to put the logo on the back of her shirt, and we get this back. Let me open it up for you again so you can see it in detail. So essentially, we're using Nano Banana almost like a world building tool. We've started off with these key visuals and we're continually branching off away from that, creating more and more different shots. We're building out our brand and we're establishing the physical space as well. And some more amazing examples here. So I put in the portrait of myself that I made with MidJourney, and I put in my exterior shot that we also made with MidJourney, and I said mid shot of the bearded man leaning up against the outside of the shop, arms folded, looking confidently at the camera. And what we got back was this. Now, I'm not really leaning up against the shop, but still, look how convincing that is. Another great example as well, we've put in the interior of the bakery and put in the portrait of me. And we said to Nano Banana, shot of the bearded man. He's wearing a pastel pink apron and stood behind the counter, smiling at a trendy customer and handing them a cheese straw wrapped in pastel pink paper bag. And what we got back was this shot as well. Now, once again, I'm not behind the counter like I asked, but this still functions as a really great shot that we can use within our advert. You can see here as well, back on Ella Marina, also still using Nano Banana, put in the exterior shot, and I've said low angle, show a trendy man walking around the shop with his back to the camera. We can see him carrying a freshly baked cheese straw wrapped in a plain pastel pink carrier bag. And we got back this. Eventually I did a few different reworks of this because the results were a bit strange. I wanted him to just remove the cheese straws in the end from the equation, and we got back this really nice shot as well. You can see your imagination really is the limit. Let's go ahead and just do a quick example together now, guys. So I'm just going to drop in the image that we made of the bakery interior, and I'm going to say, show me an attractive female staff member making a fresh coffee with an expensive coffee machine for a customer. She is wearing a pastel pink apron, and the coffee is in a pastel pink takeaway cup. Let's send that off and see what we get back. You can see we've got a little error there, which is a little bit annoying. So let's just go ahead and make a new chat. That can really help you out sometimes if you're getting some weird errors. So we'll just drop our image back in and rewrite our prompt. All right, and let's hit return on this one and see what we get back. I definitely do find that Nano Banana can be a little bit buggy. So that's a nice little hack of just starting a new chat, whether you're using it through Ella Marina or Gemini. Sometimes it just gets a little confused and you need to just set the record straight. And again, just look at this. Look at how good this is. It's got a little confused about the geography of the space, I would say, but it looks consistent in terms of style, right? And of course, how is Nano Banana to know about the layout of our imaginary bakery? Let's just hit rerun again and see what we get on a second attempt. Yeah, so here we go. I like this a lot more. It still feels consistent with our style and our physical space. We've got our nice pastel pink menu over here on the left-hand side. Slightly different coffee cup to what we had earlier, but you could imagine that maybe because it's a larger coffee than that first shot, maybe it's a slightly different type of coffee cup. So it's really not the end of the world, but everything else here looks great to me. So we could just go ahead and get that downloaded for completely free. Once you've got your key visuals, whether you created them with AI or whether you took images yourself with your phone or a proper DSLR camera, you can use a tool like Nano Banana to essentially flesh out your brand or flesh out the kind of storytelling or world that you're building. Your imagination really is the limit with a tool like this. I really do mean that. As long as you're putting in clear prompts, you're going to get back some insane results here that don't just look cool, they'll actually be functional in a real advert. And after messing around for a while, we get back some really great images which serve as our key visuals for our campaign. Always thinking about what shots we might need to tell our story. And another great example here, we have the cheese straws that MidJourney created for us. I would have fed this into Nano Banana and asked to see the cheese straw being torn apart. And this is what we got back. Crazy. So at this point, we've got all of these different still frame images. We've got our logo. We've essentially built up our stills or print campaign. But now that we have those starting frames, we can go ahead and start looking at animating them. Of course, this is what's really going to start to bring our project to life. And as always, I'm going to show you the free tool that I often use to animate my AI videos. Before we get into that, guys, if you are enjoying today's content, make sure to whack a like on there for me. Consider subscribing if you're new, and of course, ring that bell notification icon. So if we head over to FlexClip, the guys over there were very kind enough to give me a bunch of credits to check out their platform. And it's pretty handy because it has image to video, text to video, and I believe we've also got image generators here as well. The cool thing about FlexClip is if you go up here to model, you can actually pick from Kling and you can pick from Higgsfield as well. So you've got a fair few different options built into the tool already. But But you can see here from my history, if we put in the image of the cheese straw being torn apart, which I think I just showed you guys, my prompt was slow dolly camera move forward as the hands pull apart the cheese straw, steam rising, cheese oozing, soft puff pastry tumbling out of frame ASMR style. And this is what we got back, and it looks insanely real. The way that cheese behaves, the way the steam moves, yeah, wow. You can see here as well, the model used was Kling, which is one of my favorite AI video generation models, I have to say. So as I'm sure you guys can tell, the process at this stage is just continually run through and animate our AI images using a variety of different video generators. This is the one that I just showed you guys over from FlexClip. Another great one here of me stood outside the shop. Super realistic movement and everything, love it. And we are just continually building up our world. Quite a cool, helpful way to think about it, as if you are a filmmaker trying to make a documentary. So you're just capturing all these different shots on the fly and you're thinking in your head, what do I need to give my editor to be able to construct a story? That's essentially what we're doing here with AI. Let's just put together as many different videos as we can to build up this brand, and then it's up to the editor, which happens to also be us, to piece these blocks together and to build out a story and a brand. Now, of course, I promised you guys I would show you a free way to animate your AI images as well. If you're a fan of my videos, you've been watching me for a little while now, I'm going to be like a broken record, but you guys know how much I love LM Arena, particularly using the Discord. So I'm going to put a link to LM Arena's Discord down below in the comments section because it is an amazing free tool. So annoyingly, it turns out currently LM Arena is actually down, but it's super simple to use. It's the first time I've actually seen it down. I've been using it for months now. All you do is you input one of your AI images. So we've got a whole bunch of those, of course, that we can use here. For instance, we could drop in this image of our staff member who's filling out the shelves. You just drop in your text prompt and you are going to get back an AI video from some of the best models out there. Now, it is a lucky dip. It basically gives you back 2 different generations from random models. So you'll get back some good results. You'll also get back some pretty rubbish results as well. But if I go ahead and show you this really nice shot here of the coffee cup came directly from LM Arena, as you're going to see in a second, with the little plug at the end of the outputs you'll receive from the Discord. If you do want to use this for your content creation or the advert that you're piecing together, you can just cut this end card off using some editing. Drop it into Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, anything like that, and just chop the end off. Simple as that. Annoying that I can't show you guys right now how I would do that properly, but usually the LM Arena Discord, the video arenas, they work really, really well. But just at the minute, they seem to be bugged. I'm sure they'll fix it very quickly. And then you guys will be able to, maybe even after you've watched this video, it's been fixed, go ahead and create some AI videos for free. So guys, I really do hope that this video has helped you out. If you're a small business owner and you wanted to know how you can use AI to build up an entire advert for yourself, we've covered a whole range of tools and tips and tricks. As always, if you do have any questions at all, be sure to put them down below in the comment section. I'll do my absolute best to reply to as many as I possibly can. Remember, of course, that we have just launched memberships on this channel as well. So if you would like another way to support me, you're very welcome to get involved with that. Like I said, you'll get access to our private Discord server where we can share all sorts of amazing ideas about how to use AI for creative means. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, people. If you want to see more of my content and you're new, make sure to whack a like on there for me. Consider subscribing and, of course, ring that bell notification icon so that you never miss any future content. Have a great day, guys. Catch you on the next one.